So welcome everyone to the Parks Foundation and Quality of Life meeting. We'll start the meeting. Approval of minutes. Councilmember Murillo, do you have any changes?
None for me.
None for me. I don't see Councilmember Coombs on. So minutes are approved. Any announcements?
Not at this time, Councilmember Medina. Thank you.
Then we'll go on to agenda items 4A, consideration to approve a resolution for grant agreement between the city of Aurora and Great Outdoors, Colorado for the Generation Wild program for 2026-2030. Is that Joy that's presenting?
That is me. That is
Yes,
me.
thank
Good
you.
morning.
Thank you.
Good morning. How is everyone?
Great.
Awake?
Doing well.
Awesome.
A little sick, but well.
Oh, sorry to hear that. There's something going around for sure. Well, thanks everybody for your time this morning. My name's Joy Thompson, and I'm the Natural Resources Supervisor with the Open Space and Natural Resource Division of PROS. And I'm here to ask about applying for an additional round of funding for the Generation Wild program. Many of you are already familiar with this. I know I've come to this committee before to talk about Generation Wild. But for those who haven't, I want to do a quick overview. So Lauren, can I get the next slide, please? Thank you. So Generation Wild is a program that was actually started in between 2016 and 2017, and it is run through GOCO, which is Great Outdoors Colorado, which is funded through lottery money. And at that time, GOCO did a study with the University of Colorado that found that there were different pockets of populations throughout the state that were not getting outside and engaging with nature and recreational activities in the outdoors as much as were most of everybody in Colorado. And what the study found was that, excuse me, was that there were a lot of different reasons why these areas were not getting out into nature. But one of the bigger ones is that the majority of these areas were areas of persistent poverty where there was limited access. And so what GOCO said was, what we're going to do is we're going to give some money to different coalitions, groups that will get together and figure out how they're going to provide recreational opportunities in the outdoors for these different populations. So we joined, as the city of Aurora, we joined a coalition called the Northeast Metro Coalition, and that is a group of providers for outdoor education, outdoor recreation in the Northeast Denver metro area. And we applied for this grant and we did get it. And what that enabled us to do was work with a lot of different kids, a lot of different families, a lot of different schools with the goals of improving quality of life by getting kids and their families outside into nature. So next slide, please. So what does that look like? So what we do is we offer a variety of opportunities to get kids and their families outside into nature. And what we've started to do recently, especially since COVID, is to take advantage of opportunities to go and meet people where they are, but more so to bring people out to places like Aurora Reservoir, to Starkey Ranch in Northwest or Northeast Aurora, to Plains Conservation Center, or even just to the park or open space in people's neighborhoods to get them outside to enjoy some of the benefits of being outside in nature. So we offer a lot of different opportunities. We offer them year round. And we really have found that kids and their families do enjoy getting outside into nature. So next slide, please. So what are some of the outcomes of the program so far? Well, since 2017, we've seen over 27,000 kids and family members, many of those who are repeats. They keep coming back, not just during the one season, but year after year, to take advantage of these programs that we're offering. And there are a couple of quotes here. We get a lot of verbal feedback, but these were just a few of the quotes that we got actually written. We started a new program working with middle school and high school kids, getting them out into nature to use mindfulness and kind of immersing themselves in nature to deal with some of the stresses that can come along as kids move from elementary school to middle and high school. And we got some really positive feedback on those programs. So these are just a couple of the quotes that we got. So next slide, please. So next steps. Well, to look at next steps, just a quick recap. From 2017 to 2020, the Open Space Division received $113,900. And by the time we actually had access to that, it was 2018. So we had about 2 years. But what we did with that was we hired a Generation Wild program coordinator and assistant. And those people really got into the neighborhood and started working with different community members to forge connections with these groups to get them to come out to the different places where we could offer some programming. And that was happening all over the state. The Northeast Metro Coalition was one of the most successful coalitions in terms of how many people we were able to reach, but it was happening throughout the state. So GOCO said, okay, we're going to offer another round of funding for this. So starting in 2020, or actually 2021, we got another grant for $107,832 for 2021 through 2023. And that amount was a little bit smaller, so we were not able to hire the assistant, but we were able to continue with the programming, even through COVID. So then in 2024 and 2025, GOCO said, okay, we're going to offer this as a continuing opportunity, but we have to wait till our 2025 master plan to approve it. So in the meantime, we're going to offer some interim funding to tide you guys over. So last year I came to this committee and asked to be able to apply for $36,000, which really has helped, but it's not quite a whole lot. But it has gotten us through through 2024 and through this year. So last slide, please. So now we are working with the Northeast Metro Coalition and GOCO to apply for this next round of funding, which will take us through 2030. And what GOCO has said was, we're going to give you, if you get the grant, we'll give you about $2 million for your whole coalition for the next 5 years. So what we're asking for from GOCO is $168,000, and that will again go towards the salary for the Generation Wild program coordinator, as well as program supplies to be able to continue with this programming that really does improve quality of life for Aurora residents. So what I'd like to do now is open it up to questions, and what I would like to ask would be that this grant be moved to the next step in the process, which I believe is study session. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But basically, we're asking permission to go ahead and apply for that funding. So if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer those.
Thank you, Joy, for the presentation. Councilmember Murillo, any questions?
Yeah, just first want to just start out by expressing how excited I am to hear about this. I'm really happy to hear how successful things were. I know being outdoors wasn't something I did much growing up, and just had a few like key experiences in high school, and now I'm an avid hiker, like as an adult get to really explore. So I absolutely connect with like what you're saying in terms of like exposure and just like the healing part and the fun part of nature. So I'm super excited to hear that and absolutely approve this moving forward. um I think the only thing I would offer, not so much as a question, but just if there are other, in terms of like meeting groups where they're at. I know Councilmember Medina and I work a lot with a lot of community-based organizations, and always happy to provide a connection, and potentially, opening the door to new partnerships for y'all to keep growing the work that you're doing. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. We're definitely open to learning about more of those.
Councilmember Coombs?
Yeah, so just excited to see this coming forward again. I know in the past, my question has always been, how can we do more? How can we grow this? And, is there support on our end to grow it? And I understand where we're at from a budget standpoint right now, that's not, a feasible ask that we can make. But my hope is that we can continue to look in the future at growing this. And the point from Councilmember Murillo is a great one, which is if we can, build some other partnerships with other folks that might be able to join in and expand both the reach and the programming, then that's awesome. But I absolutely approve. love this program and really hope that we can continue to do more with it. So thank you so much for bringing it and enthusiastically support moving it forward.
Thank you.
Yeah, and someone who has taken advantage of that, having lived in a very rural neighborhood out in the outdoors and being in the outdoors almost all my entire life. And certainly seen my children and my grandchildren love the outdoors, and I think it's a real important aspect, especially if you live in a large metropolitan area and don't have exposure to that. I think there's a lot of life lessons and a lot of things that help, I think, kids deal with conflict and other things and just exploring in general. So I'm certainly an advocate of that. So yeah, I'm gonna look at a couple other avenues too, to maybe some revenue streams that I'm connected to see if I can see where we can maybe tap some other resources that maybe that you're not connected to specifically, and see what I can get there on that end as well. But yeah, I approve as well moving it forward. So with that, that's your purview is to move it forward.
Thank you very much. And I do want to just quickly say that I have felt overwhelming support for this program, not just through this committee, which is greatly appreciated, but also through PRO's leadership in general. We have really been supported in doing this program. And because of that, we've really been able to grow it. And I look forward to being able to do more of that in the future. So thank you all very much. And I'm excited to move it forward.
Thank you again for all your work. Appreciate it. All right, next agenda item is resolution to approve an IGA with the Colorado Department of Early Childhood 2025-2026 Universal Preschool Provider Agreement. And is that going to be Winter or Donna?
It's going to be me, Donna.
Sorry.
Good morning, everybody. So yes, I'm bringing back the Universal Preschool Program. IGA, we did it last year, and we're here again this year. It's a yearly IGA between the Office of Early Childhood and the City of Aurora. Next slide. It's from a House Bill 22-1295, which approved for all 4-year-olds that are entering into kindergarten to have 10 to 15 hours of free preschool and 30 hours for those that qualify, and they go through the state for that qualification for the extra 15. We're doing a mixed delivery, so we have our 3s as well still coming, and then we have this 4-year-old program. All of our sites are licensed programs, and we run them throughout the city of Aurora. In 2025, we'll have 4 locations. We'll have Lowry, that's expanding from the Beck closure. We'll have Summer Valley, Village Green, and Meadowwood. Next slide, please. And that's just our little brief history. Preschool started in 1972 here in the city, and it has grown and morphed every year. It's different. This year, again, we're doing the UPK program, like I said, and we'll be at the 4 locations. And so we're just asking for your approval with this IGA, and we'll talk a little bit more about how it benefits us. Next slides. This year we served about 250 preschoolers throughout all of our programs and 200 in our summer programs. Free preschool served 173 students. Our revenue was $948,000. Our expenses was $1,266,000. All 5 locations actually got a level 5 Call-A-Star rating this year from Colorado Shines. And that's the highest rating that is available. So all 5 of our sites. So kudos to all my programs. They worked very hard, and they are shining. So pretty exciting about that. Excited about that. Next slide. In 2025-2026, we are planning on offering 170 UPK slots and 48 tuition slots. The tuition slots would be the 3-year-olds or the 4-year-olds that want to go full day that only get the 15 hours provided by the state. Slot allocations are fluid, so these numbers could go back and forth depending on the need of our community. Next slide. And what I'm here to ask you today is if you guys would approve the intergovernmental agreement between the city and the state of Colorado, acting by and through the Department of Early Childhood. Any questions?
Councilmember Murillo?
No questions.
Councilmember Coombs?
Sorry, had a moment with the unmuting. I am wondering, so what at this point are the tuition levels for folks that are applying for the programs or participating in the programs?
It varies by hours. We have the 2.5, 2.75, a 3.5, and a 7.5 hour point plus rate. I could send those to you if you would like. They're all different levels.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful to know, just to provide to folks. Obviously, having little kids myself, I am around a lot of other folks that have little kids as well in the city. So yeah, just curious to have that information. But it's great to hear that you all got the 5-star rating from Colorado Shines. So thank you for for putting together great programs that are qualifying for that really high standard. And glad that we are also able to participate with the state and provide that additional funding for the UPK. And I support moving forward.
Thank you.
Yeah, and same thing here. I know you do a great job, Donna. You know, we've interacted, obviously, working with the city. You know, I also was a EC director, so for 7 years, so I'm very passionate about the early childhood, you know, education, and my wife's being a teacher as well. So, you know, I know the importance of that. So, yeah, I have no hesitation in moving it forward. And you guys, you and your staff do a great job, and provide, you know, good quality to the community. So it's a good asset. So with that, that's your orders, is to move it forward.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you much. Thanks again. And then lastly, any miscellaneous matters for consideration? Seeing none. Any topics for next month's meeting?
We're still working on a slate for the agenda for next month, so we'll get that out to you as soon as we can.
All right, appreciate it.
Okay.
And with that, if there's no other questions, we'll go ahead and adjourn. So thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, committee members.
everybody.